Hello, Demo Shell Entertainment and Fashion. We're back again. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Inspired Living Network. We're so glad to see you today, and I hope that your week and your month has been fabulous. But Demo Shell has some wonderful guests on today, a special, special guest. He's the sweetest person I've known since 2012. It's 10 years in with him being a fashion producer, small boutique. Preston, welcome, welcome to Demo Shell Entertainment and Fashions. How are you today?
How are you? Thank you for having me today.
I'm so honored to have you here today, darling. I am so happy that you're here because you're going to tell us about the times that you started back in 2012. I think that's when we talked about the seed that was just for everybody, even myself. I started back in 2012. And so let's talk about who Preston is, first of all. Tell my guests, my listeners, who are you?
I'm just a regular guy who likes to
Just say that. He's so humble.
throw events and have a good time. And I like to help people. So that's who I am basically. I think I I was put here to either help people follow their dreams in a way that it could be more accessible for them, like it um make it easier uh to be able to follow your dreams, or make your dreams more approachable, basically.
So when you started back in 2012, how did you come about? What made you come together to say, I'm going to do fashion shows, and where do small boutique come from?
Well, small boutique went through a couple transformations. When I first started out, I think I was, well, if it was 10 years ago, I probably was about 25 or 26.
Okay.
But I had the idea for it. It wasn't called Small Boutique Fashion Week. At first, I had an idea to have something called Student Fashion Week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be geared towards fashion students who either graduated,
Mm-hmm.
and the focus would have been to have, big names come see their clothes,
Mm-hmm.
mainly hiring jobs, basically.
Right.
So that was the first idea that I kind of was kind of playing around with, but I never really moved forward on it. And that's why it's so important to kind of listen to your instincts, or listen. I call it God, your conscious.
Me, I
You
call
gotta
you can tell it's
Yeah,
God.
you gotta listen to God, because sometimes God, um he'll give you he'll give you hints,
Like a glimpse, right?
like more like kind of like a glimpse, but it won't be in its original, not original, it won't be in its uh actual form yet. Like, you have to take that little bit that God gave you and keep on kind of like, should I do this or should I do that? And and then things develop into other things. But it's good to kind of just keep on listening to God when you have an idea, because sometimes he may be leading you down a path where you may come in as one thing, and then you learn how things work,
Mhm.
and then you say, well, you know it's basically, the only way I could describe what I'm saying is like how a music like a singer or a rapper would end up being a record producer.
Right.
Like, you come in as this one thing, and then you see
Mm-hmm.
how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're like, well, I need to be I
That's
think I
something.
need to be the producer. So that was how it started with the Student Fashion Week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, at that time, nobody was helping small businesses. There were no like other
Right.
fashion weeks.
Yes.
It was maybe like one or two, but
Hmm.
I was a designer at that
Hmm.
time.
Okay. What was you designing?
I was designing. I actually showed two collections at my show, but I was designing women's wear, and then at that time, I was doing a lot. I actually had a small factory. I was doing samples for other designers, and my company was it was called G Industries, and I was doing samples, and I would tell them that I sponsor a fashion show.
Hmm.
Um, they didn't know I owned it. I just said I worked with the company because that's a whole nother situation of how to present yourself to people.
Oh,
That's a whole nother
we gotta
conversation.
have one about that because we need to know. Okay.
Right.
Folks need to know.
So I was doing samples, and then I said, well, like if I have these people who I'm making their samples for, um, it took me a while to do the samples though. I do want to say that.
Hmm.
You have to think practically in this business. And I got out of school at a recession. I couldn't find a job. I was unemployed for 2 years.
Hmm.
And it was a friend of mine, an old college roommate. He was like, you need to find something that everybody needs and wants to pay for but doesn't want to do.
Mm.
And then I had a little prayer and
Mm.
I said, God, I need you to whatever I my skills are, I need can I I was just basically asking God for like can I put my skills to use? Like how do I put my skills to use? So um I always study like older fashion people, fashion industry people, and one of the things about older industry people is that they always had what they call the secret, which
Okay.
was they would be either behind the design or they would have made the design, but the head designer would come out at the end of the show and nobody would know. It's like something that so spectacular, but the tradition in fashion, or at least it used to be, with that you nobody knows that you made those
Behind this,
samples.
you behind
Right,
the scene. So
right,
that's how I know you to be right now as
right.
small boutique.
Yeah.
No one knows who is in the front. You always stay behind the scene. You never,
Hmm.
you walk all across, nobody, well, who is the producer? You would never know because you blend right on in, you know.
Right.
And I've always known you to do that, and even with a lot of other things, I think you still take that practice of the
Hmm.
old school of how they are doing
Right.
have been. And I'm glad that you hold on to that because that's a good thing. And if I've known that, what I think I would have did a lot of what you're doing right now. You know,
Right.
that's a
And
teaching tool to a lot of people that's watching that wants to be producers or designers and whatnot. That's a key thing, and that is very important to say.
right.
Thank
And especially in a business where, you know, uh a business and a time era where everybody's sharing everything,
you. Hmm.
and everybody wants to be the face of everything, and everybody, I never wanted to be the face because I know the fashion secret.
Hmm.
Like, the most people who make money are the people who you don't know. Like,
Right.
when Beyonce wins an award and she says, I like to thank Cheryl Burke and Tommy Jefferson, and they naming names that we don't know, but
Right.
these are people that
That did the hard
somebody
work.
that we think exactly they're higher. So I always kept with that kind of fashion secret tradition. And also when you do that, you kind of take out um you start realizing prestige and
Mhm.
things like that don't really exist.
This is
Especially if you're creating platforms for people to exercise their prestige or celebrity, you start to realize like all of this is part of a whole.
mhm.
So that's something that and it goes back to presenting myself as a certain something instead of saying, hi, I am, you
Uh-huh.
know, if you don't know who the owner is, or if you got to talk to 10 people, or you can't get a meeting with somebody, that makes you more exclusive.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And people when they do know it's you, they want to ask for favors and say
Oh,
you're a friend of
yes.
mine and all type of things. So
Yes.
it's good
Their
for people to
expectations,
not know what's going on.
yeah, they make you, they have too much high expectations, and
Right.
they won't support. All they want is want. I want.
Right. And they think they have a direct connect to somebody powerful. And it's like, it's just crazy.
The
So
arrogance of it too.
yeah, like I want to talk to, like, so for me, that's basically how I trained my mind before I even got out there.
That's
Because I'll
good.
be emailing people, you know, I would make like, I'm gonna just keep it real. I would make up names and be like, okay, I'm the assistant. And then when they talk to me, they'd be like, your assistant said, I'll be like, because you have to create this prestige around yourself.
That is so
But
good.
we also live in an era where we can do that. Back in the day, we had to go, if we wanted a job, we had to physically take a folder with our resume, walk around, ask for the manager, and shake their hand.
Yes.
Now, it's so much stuff, that so many filters,
Yes.
like email and text message, and just ways that you can kind of honestly, psychologically, and not tricking,
No.
but creating a
A
bubble
platform.
around yourself.
Yeah.
Because
That,
I would be saying, I'm gonna switch you to this department, that department, and it would be me. Like, before I had departments, now
that
I
is
have all these
amazing. That's
people.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, because
That,
you have to. Another saying I have is act as if until you are.
mm,
So you need to.
that's the one thing
You
saying.
can't wait until you get a staff to act like you have a staff. I always say it was just me and God. you know, God is my business partner, so it was just me and him at first, and then
Okay.
when things get up and going, then you can bring people on. But yeah, that's how I train my mind. And then after that,
That's great.
small boutique briefly turned into small business fashion week.
Okay.
And I started it with two business partners, and we said small business, and then we was just in between, like, should we call it small business fashion week or small boutique fashion week? And something was something. I said I like small boutique because it's small businesses selling to small boutiques, but for some reason it just rings, like, I think because it rhymes, small
Mm,
boutique fashion week, and I
that's all
kept
I
saying it
know.
over.
10 years
And
in, that's all I know. Small boutique.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I kept saying it over and over to myself, and I was like, small boutique fashion week. And that's another thing, like, when I was saying it over and over to myself, to, like, during that conversation of what we would name it,
Mhm.
it was just like, it kept, like, every time I said it was like a affirmation, like small boutique. Every time I said it, it sound more right.
Mhm.
Like small boutique fashion week, small boutique fashion week, small
Right.
boutique fashion week. And then we ended up using that name.
Uh-huh.
I had met two girls at a VH1 party. This was way back in the day. Okay. This
Uh-huh.
was, I think, the first episode of the second season of Love and Hip Hop.
Okay.
I went to the taping with a friend, because we knew Samaya, the Spanish girl that was on the show.
Mhm.
And I had the idea for small boutique. I started casting in like August,
Mhm.
and I only got like maybe two or three designers. So I had to cancel that first one in September.
Mhm.
And I was like, I clearly have to cast longer than 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So I met this blogger and this other uh her friend, and I told them, I said, we were all just young, and my friend at the time, he wanted to be a makeup artist, and we were just like, going to the VH1 party, the network, and she had a blog and she used to do events, and I told her, I said, I want to start an event for small businesses called Small Boutique Fashion Week.
Mm-hmm.
So we all came together. My friend at the time, he was supposed to be a partner, but he didn't take it seriously. He missed the Starbucks meeting, and that was it. But we ended up deciding to call a Small Boutique Fashion Week, and we started casting for February.
Mm-hmm.
And that first time, we got 20 designers,
Mm-hmm.
15 vendors.
Mm-hmm.
This was back then. I only think it was like maybe like Plitz Fashion Week back then, but this was
Yes, I
when
remember.
it was either Bryant Park or nothing.
Yes, right.
And or Empire Hotel, like some nightclub or something. There was
Right.
none of these, like,
Nothing in none of
if you remember,
I
it
do.
was nothing. It was
Right.
just the
And I think
tents
that
at
was the
Bryant Park.
last year. 2012 was the last year of Mercedes Benz at
Mhm.
at
Actually, this how old we was. It was Olympus. It wasn't even Mercedes back then. It was
oh,
Olympus Fashion Week.
wow.
Remember? And
Right.
then they changed it to Mercedes because I when
Right.
I when I interned a year or two before, it was still Olympus Fashion Week and
Mm,
Bryant Park in the tents.
right.
And that was
That's
the creme de la creme at the time of Fed. Bryant Park in the tents, like
yes.
that was everything. But fashion changes.
It changed.
The
It changed.
art the art of selling fashion changes. So
Do
at
you
that
think
time,
do you think this was better that they did it like that so that everybody could branch out and do their own like you did?
I think it was better, and I think it was leaning towards that way because of social media. And
Mm-hmm.
social media changed a lot of businesses, including music and fashion, because no longer did we have to, again, truck around with our portfolios, hoping a designer. We could make our own collection, get our phone, put it
Mm-hmm.
on MySpace at the time, put it on Facebook at the time, take our own picture. Sometimes even photographers and videographers at this point, with our cell phone cameras, I won't say they're not needed, but it's they're leaning towards so much people, everybody doing everything themselves, you know.
We're at that point right now.
Right.
Be-
So
Yes.
things changed over the past 10 years, but it changed for the better because more um it gave more, exposure to just everyday people.
Right.
Um, and that's why fashion changed too. Models, people want to see regular people on the runway now.
Right.
It's just not the way it used to be, because also you got to think about the images that we see on social media. We're seeing regular people all day.
All day.
So, fashion is no longer, all of the Pat Clevelands and the tall and the skinny and
Yeah.
they want to see everybody represented because
Right.
you know,
So I think it has evolved very nicely. And it came at a certain time when everybody, like I said, 2012 was a year of everybody just really
mhm,
poured into whatever their creativities was, they put it out there. And if you were one that was on that train that did it, it flourished.
right.
Some people, like you said, may have fell off. Some people didn't make it, but some people like us are still thriving.
Yeah,
And
thank God.
thank the Lord, right? And has leveled up into other things because I was just a designer back then. I didn't have a
Right.
fee. I didn't have all the things that I have right now. And when you're
Mhm.
in the industry and when you come in, you have to level up. You can't stay,
Yeah.
even as models. Models need to level up. They need to move, not do the same runway all the time.
Right.
There is
Do
more,
some classes or something. Right.
there's more inside of you. I've known a lot of models that as actors now. They are producers. They
Mhm.
work the back of the runway. You learn so much in the industry. You need to take on something else besides and do
Right.
your marketing, but work on two or three other things. Have fun in the industry and help others
Yeah.
like you're doing. And I love it that you help because I want to go back to what you had said. You help as you go and you have helped me. I remember you even telling me when because I know that you're doing not just New York now, but how many other states that you're doing right now?
All right, I had to pull it up because I'm doing Philly, LA, Denver. Well, Philly, that I think it's our fourth or fifth year. LA, it'll be our second time. Denver, second time. Richmond will be our first time. Charlotte will be the second. Detroit will be the first. Boston will be the first. Columbus will be the first. New Orleans Essence Fest, that's the second time. Atlanta, that's season 7.
Wow.
Miami Swim, second time. Phoenix, Arizona, that will be the first time.
Wow.
Houston will be the second time. Um, San Francisco will be the first time, and then it will be season 22 of New York Fashion Week. And then we'll be doing London and Paris for the first time, and
Oh,
then we'll be doing.
I want to be there. When you do the London, England, I want to be there. And I might come through with a design at that time because I always want to bring.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to London Friday to go to a couple fashion weeks, and I'm going to take the train to Paris while I'm over there. And
Ooh,
I'm just gonna, I got a couple press passes, and but yeah, London and Paris will be the first time, and then LA will be our third time, and then it ends in Chicago for the fourth time. But I am going over over to London Fashion Week, and I'll be there Saturday and Sunday,
I'm
and
so proud of
then
you. I just like so, and I just love it that you're so human. So so humble because when people come to this level where you're at right now, you can't talk to them, and you still the same person that I know from the beginning. And such a loving, sweet person, just very warm. It's like you have. There is not a to. I'm so to do
right.
now.
Well, like I said, I don't believe in status or anything like
Oh my
that.
God, you know, and you show it. It's like for real. Like people, I'm telling you, when you come to us, and the first thing he said too, that he prayed and he put God first. And when you put God first and and you allow God to show you and how God leads you, it becomes like a domino effect. Everything's still boom, 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 boom. And I remember you telling me, Donna, come on in, because I was saying, I want to do something in Atlanta. He said, this is where the money is, Donna. I remember you telling me that. And I'll never
Hmm.
forget when people tell me stuff, I don't forget what they say and how they encourage me to move on. And I'll never forget that. So if I can have a part of just even helping you level up even more, I'm there. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it for everybody. And I feel the same way that God has given me to help people. And
Right.
this place here, my platform can help other people to level up. Then this is what God has given me to do. It's not about me. It's about helping others.
Hmm.
And that's how we should have that attitude to help everyone to get where they need to get, especially
Right.
Black people. Let's come on one accord and let's do this. We're going to go part 2. I'm going to show some scenes of the beginning of Preston's first small boutique, business boutique, and it's phenomenal. We were in the house, Demoshell, the what is it? New York Fashion Week was amazing. We were in the house and he did call me out. I remember I was like, Demoshell, I was like, oh, you're so sweet. Call. That was amazing. That was like, I was so humble with that, and it's like he made sure we always had the right seats that we can see as press as magazine owners. Sophia Davis and Adrian and all the other young ladies that used to come. We all are like a union of industry fashion family. And
Yeah.
I just love everyone. And I'm just like, everybody, come on into Devo Shell Entertainment and Fashion. Let's talk. Let's talk about the industry. And so I'm glad that
Mhm.
you're here with me telling us about it. But there's much more that we're going to touch on. And we're going to go part 2. And you can see it the following week, but we're going to show some clips. Tell people how they can reach you.
They could go to smallboutiquefw.com, or they can just follow us at the Real SB Fashion Week. We got over 22,000 followers and growing. All the footage from the past 10 years, all the runway shows is there, interviews with designers, you know, just everything. Our page is all SBFW, you know.
Okay. All right. So listen, that's it for today. We're going to come back, part two, next Friday. Don't miss this. This is going to be great. Okay. We're going to touch on some other things of the industry. We'll be back. Thank you for coming to Demo Shell Entertainment and Fashion. Demo Shell Entertainment and Fashions on the Inspired Living Network. Liz Black is our CEO. Thank you so much, Liz Black. Be blessed. Keep God number one in your life. And I promise you, you will never fail. Be blessed. See you next week. Bye now.
I know you know that you make me emotional. Fill my heart, body, and soul. It's the push and pull. Please explain just how you know how to make me so vulnerable. This love is a